Hello, my name is Samar. I also go by Sam or First Time Panner. Any of those you want to call me, you can. This will be a kind of like two looks, one palette, first impressions, but not really, of the, I literally can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Mini Magic. Oh my god, I'll just have it on the screen and all the information in the description box. I'm clearly horrible at this, but the newest little 6-pan that Danessa Myricks came out with, which looks like this, or maybe I have it upside down, I don't really know. These are all just repeating shades from the Lightwork 7, aka the second Freedom palette that Danessa Myricks came out with holiday 2025. I believe that's sold out everywhere now, but she came out with this neutral palette of 6 of just all of the neutral shades from that palette as a little 6-pan mini. She also has a pastel one. I do not have that one. That is all new shades, but these are all repeating shades, so I just put this one together from my own Lightwork 7, which is why the black shade is cracked. And I did my best to arrange these shades the way they are in the pictures. Sorry if it's not the correct order, but I'll let you know what each shade is called so that you can compare swatches. And I'm just gonna get started. So this first shade, I've already forgotten what it's called. I arranged them earlier. This one is called Guiding Light, and if you want to see like the review on the full palette so you can get, sorry, that is just so beautiful and like opaque in the first swipe, it distracted me. I will have like the full video on this palette with more in-depth descriptions and comparisons, but this is the first shade, Guiding Light, and I'll have how the brand describes the shades on the screen as well. I remember that this one here is called Wish, which is more of a like thin metallic formula, and also more pink. That's what that one looks like. I know one of these is a duochrome. I think it's this one, Wish. Then this one, which is the lightest matte, is called Sand. And I'm trying my best to do these swatches as put together as possible, but I'm not used to doing them on camera. Next is this shade Toasted, which if I remember correctly was described as like a toasted brownie mauve, and this is a tad bit pink. I always pair it with the pink shades in that palette, and that is what that looks like. It goes very well with like what's on my lips right now, actually. Next is Rooted, which is a warmer like medium brown, and this is definitely the darkest brown that's offered in this little like 6-pan palette. Then the black shade is called Grounded, and this was the one shade that I had issues with, and it's like a great shade as far as opacity, but this is the one shade I had issues with the cracking and everything. But this is what Grounded looks like. Again, it is a really good black, very opaque. So side by side, this is what the palette looks like with the swatches, and I'm using slightly warm neutral lighting at like a medium brightness just for reference, and I'll also try to do like natural light swatches, but you can also see the swatches in the full-length video for the Freedom or the Lightwork 7. Now I'm going to start with the two looks. I haven't planned the looks that I'm doing, so bear with me, but I'm just going to put on some eyeshadow primer, and the brushes that I'm using are very, very dirty, so I'm just gonna wipe them off as much as possible. But this is a very low budget video. I'm just doing this in between appointments I have today, and I'll probably set both of my lids with this Sand shade here. This is kind of powdery, not like super powdery, but if you're used to very densely packed eyeshadows, this one does have kick up. So just like a light layer for setting my eyeshadow primer. I don't want to make it like too powdery. I just want to give a little bit of a base, because this eyeshadow primer does not dry down 100%. I'm trying to decide what I should do for these two looks. I think I'm gonna start with Rooted just all over this eye. And again, all of these mattes in this palette do have kick up, but they're not difficult to control. So I'm just gonna put this just like tap it in and then lightly kind of like buff it out. So I'm kind of just keeping it like concentrated in my crease, but then buffing out whatever's left into my transition area. And then I'm just going to tap once into the black shade Grounded and just put this on the outer corner for some added depth. And as you can see, just from tapping once, it is completely opaque already. And with this one, I want to keep it mostly just for like this specific look, I want to keep it mostly like in the deepest parts of my eyes, so I'm not like swishing my brush around a lot. I'm kind of just like using tiny like pressing motions. I just added a tiny bit of glitter primer to my eye, and now I'm gonna take this first shade, Guiding Light, and I don't need too much because again it's super opaque, but I'm just gonna put it all over. And I think this is like the lightest, iciest, and most opaque shade in the entire palette. So I think contrasting it with like the most opaque black ever basically will give kind of like, I don't know, I just think it'll be like a fun, bold eye look. And then for my lower lash line, I'm just gonna mix Sand and Rooted together and just put it all over. I forgot to wipe off my brush, so it still had some of the black in there, but I'm fine with that because I had black on my eye anyway. Now for my left eye, I think I'm gonna do something a little simpler and just use these two shades. So this one, I already can't remember what they're called. Okay, the shade Toasted, this matte right here, I'm literally just gonna put it all over my eye. I'm gonna take this fluffy brush and just blend the edges. The shade is really easy to blend, like all of the mattes in this palette are really easy to blend. And then again, just putting more on my lower lash line. I just put more glitter primer on this eye, and now I'm gonna go into the shade Wish, again just with my finger, and I'm just gonna tap it along my entire eye. Again, this one is a lot thinner and more of, it can be used like as a topper or as an all over lid shade, as I'm doing right now, because it has a little bit less opacity than Guiding Light does. So I'm just, and it goes really well with the Toasted shade. So that's all I'm doing for that eye. I think I'm gonna add a tiny bit more of the Guiding Light shade on my inner corner, and then I'm gonna do some eyeliner and mascara and be right back. I'm back with the final looks, and I misspoke earlier. I said that I thought it was Wish that was a duochrome. It's actually oh my god, Guiding Light, because it's like an antique gold pewter and then pink duochrome, but you can't see it too much unless you shine it in like a certain light. Like I'm gonna try to get it, so but I don't even know if you, yeah, I don't know if you can really see this, but it's a slight shift. It's not too intense, so if you were worried about something too intense, you're not really into duochromes or multi-chromes, and if you're the type to buy an all neutral palette from Danessa Myricks, that's probably you, then you don't need to worry about that. It's not an intense shift, but these are the final looks from the mini Everyday Magic palette, not Mini Magic. I think if you love Danessa Myricks quality and you don't have the Lightwork 7, I think this would be a great little palette to have, because again, the mattes are really nice. They're not my favorite mattes ever, but I do think they're good mattes, and then the metallics are very pretty. However, this is a very expensive palette, so unless this is like, you think this would be your perfect palette, it probably, I think you could find something cheaper than this, to be quite honest. But again, if this is just like your favorite palette you've ever seen as far as color story, and you already know that you like the Danessa Myricks formula, then I would say this is great, because I mean, these looks are just stunning. I like every shade in here. Personally, I could do without the black, but I think it is a very opaque black. If you already have the Lightwork 7, I feel like this goes without saying, but do not buy this. This is just all repeat shades. But that is it for this video. Please let me know your thoughts, or if you want me to go over anything else that I didn't do, or if you want to see a different look with this, I can probably post something somewhere on like the community tab or my Instagram. But I will just see you in my next video, and until then, I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.